Hello, everybody. Yes, we are back again in another live stream. And, well, you wonder which sound you hear. Sorry, it's totally black, the screen. That's because I was playing and not watching on the right monitor. So, yeah, it's Blue 3. And the whole point is that you see all my paths. It's the subject of this evening, because what we are currently doing, we are working on making a Blue 3 compatible to the Anchor S system. The only problem we have is that we need to check the taggings we have. The original Bluetooth did not have any taggings. We had, of course, the banks with analog bases, digital bases, pad sounds, but at that time it had no real tagging. So we did automate it a little bit, but of course it needs a little bit of tweaking still before we can convert to Anchor, which has its own tagging. So that's a pretty complex story. We hope to have it ready much earlier, but we unlucky did not succeed in that. So we're still working on this. Hopefully next week we can send it in to Native Instruments so that they check if everything is okay. And so I was running in the pad sounds, and I really was stuck in pads 2, because then you are tagging, but sometimes the sounds are so nice that you start playing them. So it's like this ambient horizon slow, which has a very slow attack, very slow. And you see, you also need to play it pretty slow. So I was tagging this one in the pads 02, and now ahead of the live stream, I just picked a few of them because I thought, yeah, let's play them in the live stream and talking about how cool Blue 3 is for pads. And I think many of the pads 2 sounds are essentially Blade 1 presets. I think this one. No, that one also has samples. No, that one is more a Blade 2 sound, but some of them are still originally a Blade. I'm saying Blade Blue, the original Blue sounds. So this was Blue 2 sound. You see Extreme Ensemble GP 8. There's more. More a classic analog type sound, and you see here 2 oscillators are used with a square waveform which have a symmetry modulation. I'm not sure if it pops up here. No, you don't see it in that one. So it's so more a mellow Jupiter type of pads, but this one is very nice for if you're doing some deep bass pad. This is nice if you're doing some film score or TV series or game music. And of course, Blue 3 is, for instance, used by many of the producers. So that might be a little bit too low. And this one is a typical combination of FM synthesis. You see the algorithm here, oscillator 1 and 2 has a regular output, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 are, 5 has also an output, but 3 and 4 are modulating oscillator 6. So if I shut oscillator 6, you only hear this pad, which is very dark, number 2, oscillator 2. which is essentially also a nice pad, by the way. And then the combination, of course, then with the FM sound. So if I play only the FM sound, so I shut down oscillator 2, and you only hear oscillator 3, 4, modulating oscillator 6. Yeah, and then you see this in a nutshell. This tells the great power of blue from the start. Once we started with blue, we combined the best of FM synthesis, which is this, together with subtractive. So it's really a combination synthesizer. This is, let's say, a Jupiter 8, and you stack on that, you stack a DX7. So that's a very nice sound. So let's play another one. Ambient Fox 2, I think that's only using samples. No, it's also a combination, I think. Although, no, it uses a vowel filter. A bit like the Roland VP330. So this is very eerie, and if you open the modulation wheel, so this is probably maybe one of the Blue 1 presets, but it's a nice one. Glimmer Blue, that's also a sound which combines subtractive together with FM again. Gives the so also people who joined in later, I have this call today. It's called Oh My Pad, because what I'm doing currently this week, and also Tom Tonal Access, Richard is checking the presets on the tagging before we can convert to NKS. So that's a little bit more work. And then I stumbled in the pad sounds, which I did check, and I was so, let's say, inspired and playing around with the sound instead of tagging, because they sound so cool. Because then I suddenly hear sounds back which I maybe created several years ago. So this one is a combination. You see, if I here you see 3, 4, and 5 modulate 6. So go to the algorithm page, 3, 4, 5 modulate 6. If I shut down 6, it doesn't go out. And then you can hear it's only oscillator 1, what you now hear. Again, a very dark pad sound. And on top of that, you have this shimmery FM sound. So this really, again, just like the other preset, shows the power of Blue 3, that it combines synthesis together. So let me see if I have another one. Mellow Ensemble. Let's see how that one is again. Virtual analog. More classic analog type of pad sounds. Yeah, I just pick a few of them. Center, no idea what that means. Very odd sound. Also here you see on the algorithm FM is used. If I shut down, you only hear the choir, little choir sound. And that the combination makes the sound. Okay, let me see. Rise of the Notch. Of course, the filters from Blue 3 are great. We added far more models to it now. And of course, already that was a difference when we released Blue in 2006. That was an FM synthesizer also having a very good filter. notchy filter sound. Saturn view. Silky sound. So it's really a very nice synth for doing ambient sounds. And this one is Scary Movie 526. There were Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2, Scary Movie 3. And this one is from the very far future. This is Scary Movie 526. And it's a very eerie sound. Very eerie sound, isn't it? Let me see what we're... Yeah, it's all kind of stacked. This one uses different waveforms, spectrum waveform, and a saw square combination. Very different. Yeah, and this is only pad bank 2, so it's more an effect pad sound, of course. Let me see what this one is. So more drone type. So you see a lot of interesting things, but also strings with choir. I think it's the pad 3 are the current one. You see, I don't add here any star, because this bank I'm still in the pads is a pizzicato sound. Should not be there, but it's there. Synth and strings. Yeah, pad journey. Changes into a very weird sound. Yeah. Gone big drama pad. Yeah, so there's so much inside of it. It's then of course in the Blue 3 we added some more samples, which has the typical string sound from this diamond string, which I showed last time also, which has such a with a phaser. So the diamond strings was a black string machine, a kind of Italian variation on what you have with the Solina strings. All those Solina strings, and this one sounds very different. So if I go back to the that's also something which is essentially very hard to reproduce, because they did something weird inside this machine, which makes that it has such a different sound to anything, because recreating a kind of Solina strings is easier than this one. This one essentially I did not succeed yet in creating that one. So I go to a default preset here. Let me see, default. Here it is. And I go to this pure sample itself. So I go to the, here it is, Solina strings. You have here, down here, which is stereo, but the diamond strings was a mono output. So it sounded, I sampled it, and it sounded like this. And of course, on the machine, you had a slower tag. So this is how it originally sounded. What I did by using a little trick in our internal engine is to make this sound stereo, which is then the diamond strings stereo, which is of course then much nicer. So that's a very typical sound. The diamond string, I did get it from my uncle, the brother of my dad, and so it had needed some little repair, and the repair guy, Rene Ubachs, who also creates some nice Reebok plugins, said, well, how they, not plugins, but Eurorack synthesizers. Rene Ubachs creates the Reebok Eurorack Eurorack synthesizers, filters, and oscillators. And he also does repair analog machines. And he said, well, what they did is so special in this diamond string. And that makes this very different sound. So if I would compare it to the original Solina strings, here we go to Solina strings. This is the Solina strings, which is originally stereo. And this is the diamond string. Also seems to have a kind of octave inside of it. So this is the Solina string. So it's very different. That's cool. With Blue 3, you can combine these sounds then also together. I think there is somewhere in the Pads 03, I think. Let me see. Strings. So maybe here. No. Or not. Looking for one pad sound. Solina and pad. So that's a good example. There you see we essentially combine the Solina strings with the like more a Jupiter pad sounds combination. So if I shut down oscillator 6, you only hear this pad sound. And if I add the Solina strings, okay, so now I see all kind of questions. So I'm just playing around with Blue 3 because it's fantastic for pad sounds. And but I must not forget you guys in the chat room. Hello, Sanjini is there. Hey, and I spoke it in one go now. Man, I had some trouble speaking that name out. But that's me. I'm not good in everything. I can see busy with work. Yeah, I think once you have more time, I'm pretty sure we'll see some nice presets from Sanjini again. Yeah, this a question about from Music Taku 654. This is planned because if you see up here in Blue 3, you see we have an empty spot below sequencer. There we will get a function called special. And the special feature, what we will have is the same what you will have in Predator 3. Only in Predator 3, it has, of course, a different range of parameters. If I go here to Predator 3. So let me close it here. Predator 3 special. Here we have preset morphing and intelligent preset variation. These things are this feature, this preset morphing and this intelligent preset variation generator are planned for Blue 3 as well. But first we are very focusing on getting it Anchor S compatible. And if you want to know how this works in Predator 3, if you go to the playlist Predator 3, there you will find a video about this special feature. So it's going to be in Blue 3, definitely. But first we work on the Anchor S. And then we see... did you compare those analogs again? Did you compare those analogs against RP plugins like Bit? I'm not sure what you mean. And Tom Aldrich asking, can you walk us through the mod screen? I'm not sure if my computer screen can handle my weight. So if I put my screen flat, I walk over this mod screen, walk us through this, my computer screen will break. But of course, maybe I should do it virtual. Sorry, being silly. In English, they say, did you eat a clown this morning? Something like that. Well, then let's go to the mod sequencer, which is an interesting thing because it's used in one of the pads. So let me see. I think it was in pad sequenced. In pads 2. Yes, but where is it? Why is it in pads 3? Ah. No. So I'm not sure where I heard this sound, but where was it? Or was it here? Pads 1. Let me see. It should be in here. Of course, I will not find it. I'm looking here to the song. No, it's not in this one. Maybe in this one. But yeah, let's do it simply by the modulation sequence. Essentially, is a modulator. So if I go to a pad sound, mellow carpet, you have here the mod sequencer. Mod sequencer. There are 3 in total, and here you can draw the sequence, okay? And you see it's polyphonic, speed is 1, so now it's 16 steps. And of course you need to address this. So I go to the mod matrix. I would take, hey, that's strange. Modulation wheel filter 1 distortion. That should not be right. That's strange that this one is in that. Maybe a conversion error. Anyhow, so I leave this for what it is. I really go here to the modulators, and you have then the, let me see, where is the sequencer? Other sequencer, mod sequence, that's the one, modulation sequencer 1. And I put that to the filter 1, cutoff frequency, or filter 1. I think it's also wise then to use okay. open it. Opening a little bit the resonance so that you hear it a little bit better. So you can create a kind of random thing. Now you hear it a little bit better. Now each note has its own sequence. Oh. So if I make it mono, then if I hit the note, everything it's... So it's really a kind of, yeah, you can really do, especially on the filter, it's interesting, but you could also do it on a FM type of sound. So so this one is now, let me see if I have bandpass filter. And the cool thing is, of course, you can loop it, or you can say single. Only plays once. Okay. Back forth. It's only not sure why it does now goes to step 8, because you can change the step and 8, only 8. Oh, sorry, it's in total it's 32 steps. So it's even 32 steps in once. So it was set to 16. You can go back forth. Or 2. I don't know what it means with 1 and 2, but I have to ask John for that. And single, it should stop, so it doesn't stop. So that might could be a bug. So it's loop, of course, most interesting. So mono is that you, if you play, it keeps on resetting. You see? And if you have poly, you have each note has its own sequencer. And then you have, of course, the free running, which is, and this can be interesting because it's MIDI time based. You can really have some interesting. And if you go half speed, it's maybe interesting now. So that's the modulation sequence. In one preset I put that on the. So for instance, if I go back to this pad in pad 2, you could use it also for the FM thing. So here, this one. I go to the algorithm. I see 4 modulates. No, 4 and 3 modulate 6. So I could use, for instance, the mod sequencer number 1, mod sequencer 2, the volume of oscillator 4. I could use drag and drop. Yes, okay, and then it puts away the source. So I need to pick again the source. Yes. Let's see what happens with that one. So it changes the volume. The mod sequencer changes the volume of the modulating oscillator. It's not that, maybe I should take it a little too minimal. Maybe if I change the pitch, it could be far more exciting. Oscillator 4, semitone pitch. Or go with, so the mod sequencer I also can use another time and use the same mod sequence also for the oscillator 4 panning. Let's see what happens then. You see a lot of parameters there are. Hui, hui, hui. Where is the pan? Here's the pan. Yeah, it's definitely, you see how much you can do with Blue 3. So this is the mod sequencer. So here you have 3 options. You have the loop features, the speed of it's 32 steps. Basically, it starts with 16 steps, but you can make it 32 steps. So you can draw it like this. You know, it's a and then in using the modulation matrix, you connect it to anything of Blue 3. Even could be the FX, whatever. It's a lot of weird things can be done. So I'm checking in the chat room. There are more questions. Okay. Moon Station Art. What is your top selling synth? Well, we have a couple of them. Subboom Bass, Predator 3, Blue 3, and then you get Punch 2. I think then you get the Blade, and then the less popular are for instance, the Reason ones, which we created originally for Reason, which is Vecto and Quad, which are very cool synths, but maybe because they're looking different, not so popular. It's okay. So is there an option to connect sequences to get longer than 32 steps chain of modulation? No, I think it's not possible. I think 32 is already long, but that's the max it has. I don't know how you could trick the system by having it more. Yeah, you could use maybe a the advanced modulation matrix. That could be an option. If you go here, advanced, you could say I use the modulation wheel, and you say if our modulation wheel is a bit lower, then I use the mod 1 sequencer to control. If you go up, then the second one will go, and the third one. So, but that's more advanced patching. That's the advanced modulation matrix, which you can select here, and then you see here now, it's the amount is arranged, but you can give it an offset. And then of course this can be controlled by using the modulation wheel. So it's a very complex patching, which is possible. Then, so if you would have needed more than 32, you could use the modulation wheel to go from one mod sequencer to another mod sequencer. Okay, So back in the manager, so pads, the pads 4 is the most recent, which is still not full. So here we'll have in the future more pads. Here we also have the CS and string pad. That's a nice one. So this is more a synth or brassy type. And then using these Selena strings, which is very thin, but that's the original also. It's very thin in the lower section. It's really as has it a high pass filter to it. Oh, this is also very nice. But so again, yeah, for ambient artists, Blue 3 is absolutely fantastic. Okay, I played a few wrong notes. So pad sounds definitely great, but also other stuff. I mean, I'm tagging now and then the. It's very nice. That one is dry. Any digital basses. Typical FM. By the way, I hear a little click. Not sure if it's in the plugin or in my system. Yeah, so yeah, much inside of it, and then yeah, we had the mod sequence, but there's of course also the other sequence, and maybe I can show you already a little bit. So that's the back panel. So if I pick now machine in my system, so give me a second. Oh, essentially also complete control should be available. Okay, let me see if it's popping up. Aha, you see, only the default preset, but that's what you need to do then. With complete control, you go to the menu. Let me see, where is it? I need to rescan. And how do I rescan here in? Okay. Library. So 1 second, rescan. And then suddenly all the presets pop up. So this is complete control, and once we released a Blue 3 for Anchor S, it will appear. The only thing we don't have inside the Anchor S, close, is the introduction bank. So this is complete control, and here you have all the banks, and you say pads, and then you go here. And you have, okay, because it's so big, it doesn't fit. I need to have a smaller version. And here you see the controls we have. So up here, so it has the XY. And then you see we have the volume control, but also attack. So these are the pages, and you can see different pages. You see in the upper section here where my mouse is. And even we have the sequence tune, but also the sequence wave select. So that could be interesting with the wave sequencer that you can select here from oscillator 1. It's only oscillator 1, because if we would put all the 6 oscillators, we would have too many pages. So we keep then, so if I go to a preset which has the sequencer, let's see. It should be, no, should be all. Okay, all sequence. Here you can pick them according to the sequence. But this one using the ARP, not the sequencer. Oh, so maybe I should go here manually to the bank. Sequencer sounds. And then you have the wave view. But I'm not sure which. And now if you go then to the right page, so I need to put on oscillator 1. Is then active only oscillator 1, which is not doing anything. Oh, it's a modulating one. Okay, I need to take another sequence. Okay, this one. So this is oscillator 1. Go to the sequence page, and then I go in with the anchor system to the sequencer page, and I could change the waveform. You see change here? And this of course from step 1 to 8. The next page is then from step 9 until 16. So step 16 is not doing nothing. Step 14. So now I change the dial. So that could help while creating sequences by using the NCAS system, because you have the dial. So the page number, let me see, it doesn't show a page number, but it starts with the sequence tune. So then you can change the tuning of the first oscillator, and then, oh no, not the first oscillator, but in general, the tuning of the sequence. And then if you go beyond this, then you get the waveforms. So here you see sequence tune, and then it goes sequence oscillator 1 part page 1, which is 1 to 8. Then you get sequence wave oscillator 1 page 2, which is from 9 to 16. And if you have more, it also goes through 32, of course. If you go here to and 32, you have 32. So now I could even go and wave. Okay, but these all have tie notes. Okay, that's not good. So let's do this. So that's what you could do then with the if Native Instruments approves that we add this. So it's a little bit deep editing. So, and it's only for the wave sequence, only for oscillator 1, because if we then would also add sequence tuning, the sequence for oscillator 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, you would get so many pages. Then yeah, it's a little bit lost. Okay, so I'm going back. So this is the planned anchor as, but it takes a little bit while. Hopefully in February it should be possible, but we still need to tag some things and work on the last details. Okay, I take the normal one. Here we go. Then we have, I think, a question maybe. Oh, Hannes Hagebroek. Rob, can you please repeat the day of the concert in Belgium? The Belgium will be, in Belgium we play, Ron Boots and myself will play the 25th of March in Ghent, which is near to Antwerp. And we play for about 1 hour. They request if we could do another tribute to Klaus Schulze. So this track we will play. Then again, and you can find it on internet. I think. Let me see where I fast can look it up for you. 1 second. I need to grab here the homepage. Let me see my own. Okay. So it's always fun with Facebook, but there I can show you the actually page. Aha. Okay, here it comes. It's here you can see it's Atana. That's the thing, which is so there's things on Friday already. Some gigs, and also on Saturday in Zaal T Klokhuis, 3 o'clock it starts, and we play, if I'm not wrong, at about 7 o'clock. You click here, then you can see the information. So this is the site. I will link it in the description for you. So yeah, if you have time and you are around, would be great to meet. So maybe you live in Belgium or close to Belgium, and then it would lovely to meet you guys. Okay, now let's go back, and I put it here up front. Okay. I will have with me, of course, my setup will be having 2 computers. One does the sequencing. Will be next. This time it will be I took with me the big PC, which is in a 19-inch rack, but that's so heavy. So, and I had to purchase anyhow a M1 Apple to check our software, and so I use the one Apple computer for sequencing and some sounds, for mainly sequence sounds and the drums, and as for FX. And then another laptop I use as a synthesizer. So I play sounds on it by a MIDI keyboard. And then I have in hardware, I have with me the Waldorf M synthesizer. I have the modular with me, an Eurorack modular. I have a little Fatty for playing leads, and of course the Core Prophecy I take with me, and most likely also another synthesizer which I'm gonna pick up next week, an old analog machine. I think that's nice on stage, that you also see that we turn some dials and create sounds on the flow, which are mainly the sequence sounds. So. Okay, guys, so this was it for today a little bit. It's late again. It was a long day for Rob today. And hope to see you next week again in another live stream. I see Tom is in the chat room. I don't think that Tom sent me a song, otherwise I would, I guess, already received it. And anyhow, thanks for watching. Stay well and enjoy creating music, I would say. And see you next time. Bye.